Hello, my name is Dr. Ivan Pavlov. I am 94 years old, and I have practiced medicine longer than most people have been alive. I've seen wars, I've survived hunger, I've crossed frozen rivers to deliver babies in the dark Siberian winter. But nothing has taught me more about the human body than watching it grow old. You see, age has a way of whispering truths to us that we often ignore. One of those whispers, one that turns into a painful scream in the silence of night, is the leg cramp. Yes, those tight, sudden, stabbing cramps in your calves or feet that wake you up, gasping. Most people shrug them off. They rub their legs, maybe take a pill, drink some water, and go back to sleep. But let me ask you something from one old soul to another. What if that cramp is not just a cramp? What if it's the first warning bell from your muscles, telling you that they are breaking down, shrinking, vanishing without your permission? I've treated over 30,000 patients in my life, in Russia, in Europe, and yes, even here in America. And the story is always the same. Someone over 60 comes to me and says, "Doctor, my legs feel weak in the morning. I trip more often. Sometimes I can't even press down on the gas pedal." And I ask them one question. "Do you get night cramps?" Their eyes widen. "Yeah, how did you know?" Because night cramps are not random. They are signals, early signs of rapid muscle loss. And let me tell you, they are more dangerous than most people realize. I remember a woman named Margaret, 71 years old, lived alone in Arizona. She used to walk her dog every evening, clean her house every Sunday. One day, she stopped doing both. Not because she was lazy, but because she couldn't trust her own legs anymore. She told me, "It started with these annoying cramps at night. I thought it was dehydration, so I drank more water. Then I thought it was just old age, so I ignored it." By the time she came to me, she had lost 14% of her leg muscle mass. 14%. That's not just weakness, that's a life on the edge of losing independence. Now, I've seen this too many times, and the problem is not always disease or age. Sometimes, it's something much simpler. Something we eat, yes, two common snacks that most Americans over 60 believe are perfectly harmless, are quietly triggering these cramps every night. I've identified them in hundreds of cases. You might even have one of them in your kitchen right now. Now, I am not here to scare you. I'm here to wake you up, to help you see what's happening inside your own body before it's too late. Because if you understand why your muscles are cramping, you can finally stop the pain and rebuild your strength. Even at 70, 80, or 90 years old, you're never too old to change your fate. I'm 94, and I still walk 3 miles every morning through the woods near my home. No pills, no supplements, just discipline, real food, and a bit of Russian stubbornness. So if you're listening to this, and you've ever woken up clutching your calf or rubbing your feet, don't ignore it anymore. Because in the next few minutes, I'm going to tell you exactly what's happening inside your body after 60. And why these two harmless snacks may be doing you far more harm than you think. Stay with me. Let's talk about what's really happening inside your body after 60. You see, aging doesn't just add wrinkles. It changes everything, especially your muscles. After the age of 60, your body begins to lose muscle mass at an alarming rate. Not just because you move less, but because your body absorbs less of what it needs to rebuild and recover. In medical terms, we call it sarcopenia, but I don't care much for fancy names. What matters is this. Every year after 60, you lose up to 3% of your muscle mass, quietly, invisibly, until one day, your legs don't catch you the way they used to. This is not weakness. This is biology. When I was younger, my grandmother used to say, "When a tree stops growing, it starts dying." The same is true for muscles. If you're not building them, you're losing them. Now, what does this have to do with your night cramps? Everything. Your muscles depend on a delicate balance of minerals: magnesium, potassium, calcium, sodium. These minerals are like tiny electricians, helping your muscles contract and relax smoothly. But here's the problem. As you age, your body becomes less efficient at storing and regulating these minerals. Worse, many older adults start eating the wrong foods. They cut out fat, they snack on low-calorie processed foods, they follow diets from TV commercials instead of real science. And in the process, They starve their muscles of what they need the most. Let me explain this with something simple. Imagine your leg muscles are a garden. To grow strong and steady, they need sunlight, movement, water, hydration, and nutrients, minerals. But after 60, the soil becomes dry. The roots are weaker. You need to be more careful, not less. Now imagine pouring salty water into that garden, or artificial sweeteners, or preservatives. That's what many snacks are doing to your muscles. They dehydrate your tissue, block absorption of key minerals, and cause spikes in insulin, which damages circulation. And poor circulation? That's one of the main reasons your legs wake you up at night screaming. In Russia, we treat food as part of medicine. Every bite is a choice between health or harm. But here in the West, many people eat for convenience, not vitality. And the irony? Most of the snacks causing the worst damage are labeled healthy. Low fat, low calorie, high fiber, heart smart. But they are loaded with chemicals your body doesn't recognize and certainly doesn't benefit from. I had a patient, James, 68 years old, retired teacher. He used to snack on whole grain crackers between meals, said they helped him stay light, but he had cramps almost every night. Couldn't sleep, woke up moaning. When I checked his magnesium and sodium balance, it was completely off. Why? His snacks were packed with hidden salts and additives that stripped his body of essential minerals. After just 2 weeks of changing his diet, the cramps stopped, just like that. So I ask you kindly but firmly, what are you putting into your body between meals? Are you feeding your strength nor feeding your breakdown? Because food is not just fuel. After 60, food becomes medicine or poison. You might not feel the difference today, but your legs will feel it tonight. And every night after that, until you listen. So now that you understand how your body changes after 60, and how the wrong snacks make it worse, we're ready to uncover the first hidden culprit. It's in 8 out of 10 American homes. It's cheap, crunchy, and often considered harmless. But inside your muscles, it's anything but. Now let's talk about the first snack, the one I see in almost every American home. The one that looks innocent, but wreaks havoc on your muscles. I'm talking about salted crackers and baked chips, especially the ones labeled low-fat or heart-healthy. Yes, those little golden squares you keep in the pantry for when you're just a little hungry, or the baked potato chips that promise to be a lighter alternative to the fried ones. Let me be clear, these snacks are not food. They are chemistry projects shaped into something crunchy. Take a look at the label next time. You'll find refined white flour, artificial flavoring, stabilizers, and, most dangerously, sodium overload. But Dr. Pavlov, people tell me, they're better than regular chips. Better than poison does not mean good. Here's what happens when you eat them. First, your blood sodium spikes. Your body, already struggling to maintain mineral balance, goes into overdrive trying to flush it out. That process pulls water away from your muscles, dehydrating them from the inside out. Then, the refined carbohydrates hit your bloodstream fast, causing a sugar spike. You might not taste sweetness, but your insulin reacts the same way. And that spike, it damages circulation. It inflames your blood vessels. It robs your muscles of oxygen. That's a recipe for cramping. Let me tell you a story. A man named Richard came to see me 2 years ago, 72 years old, former army medic, strong handshake, sharp mind. But he couldn't sleep. Every night, like clockwork, cramps would twist his legs into knots. He was frustrated. Tried everything. Magnesium pills, bananas, stretching, nothing worked. Then I asked him to show me what he ate between meals. He opened his bag and pulled out a box of multi-grain crackers. With a proud smile, he said, "Doctor, these are better than cookies, right?" I looked at the label. One serving had over 207 infinities of sodium, and that was before the peanut butter he usually added. No fiber. No minerals. Just salt, starch, and chemicals. I asked him to stop eating them for just 7 days. He called me on day 6. "Ivan," he said, "I slept through the night for the first time in months." The relief in his voice said more than any lab test ever could. You see, Americans have been taught to fear fat. So food companies remove fat, and add salt, sugar, and artificial fibers to keep the texture. It's a lie. And your muscles are paying the price. In Russia, my patients snack on cucumbers with sunflower oil, or fermented cabbage, simple, alive, mineral-rich, not plastic disguised as food. Now I'm not saying never eat a cracker again. I'm saying don't let it replace what your muscles actually need, because a handful of crackers at 3 p.m. can lead to a cramp at 3 a.m., and no one tells you that on the box. So if you're someone who reaches for those light, crunchy snacks during the day, thinking you're making a smart choice, and think again. You may be feeding your craving, but you're starving your legs, and that's just one snack. There's another, even more deceptive, that hides behind a sweet, innocent smile, one that many older Americans believe is the healthiest snack of all. But I'll tell you something. It's not just sweet. It's sabotage. Now let's talk about the second snack. This one is even more dangerous, not because it tastes worse, but because it pretends to be your friend. I'm talking about flavored yogurt cups with fruit at the bottom. Yes, the ones you find in the refrigerated aisle, with pictures of strawberries, peaches, or blueberries on the label. They often say things like high in calcium, probiotic, or healthy gut. But I want you to understand something very clearly. These yogurts are not what they seem. They are loaded with refined sugars, artificial flavors, thickening agents, and something I personally despise, high fructose corn syrup. The little bits of fruit you see at the bottom? That's not fresh fruit. It's preserved mash, soaked in syrup and stabilizers. Why does this matter? Because sugar, especially the hidden kind, destroys your muscle health. It causes inflammation. It blocks magnesium absorption. It spikes insulin, leading to nighttime circulatory problems. And the worst part? Most people over 60 think they're eating something good. Let me tell you a story. My younger sister Galina moved to New Jersey 30 years ago. She's a strong woman, survived the Cold War, raised 4 children. But last year she called me and said, "Ivan, my legs hurt every night. I can't sleep." I flew out to see her. She looked tired, drained. She had bags under her eyes and couldn't walk down the stairs without holding the railing. I looked through her refrigerator, and what did I find? Rows of fruit yogurts, peach, vanilla, strawberry, all those little plastic cups with bright labels and sweet promises. I said, "Galina, do you eat these every day?" She smiled and said, "Twice a day, morning and evening. They're good for digestion, no?" I shook my head. "No, they are good for your dentist's wallet and bad for your legs." We went through the label. Each cup had around 18 to 22 grams of sugar. That's 5 teaspoons per serving. Some even more. For comparison, that's as much as a slice of chocolate cake. Galina was shocked. "But it's yogurt," I told her. Just because something looks healthy doesn't mean it is. In fact, many so-called health foods are simply sugar bombs in disguise. We replaced her sweet yogurts with plain Greek yogurt, kefir, and fresh berries. Within 10 days, her cramps were gone. She now walks 3 blocks to the bakery every morning, without pain. You see, your body isn't asking for fake fruit. It's begging for real minerals. But sugar robs those minerals from your bloodstream. It dehydrates your cells, and it makes your muscles scream when you least expect it at 2 a.m. I've seen this pattern in hundreds of patients, older adults who believe they're eating smart, but are unknowingly poisoning their recovery. Flavored yogurts are easy, convenient, tasty. But what you gain in comfort, you lose in control over your own legs. So if you're eating one of those little cups of joy every night before bed, thinking it's helping your digestion or bones, stop. You're not feeding your strength, you're feeding inflammation. And your muscles always tell the truth, whether you like it or not. Now that we've exposed both snacks, the salty trap and the sweet saboteur, it's time to talk about something different. Because I don't just want to tell you what not to do. I want to give you the exact steps to rebuild your leg strength, stop those cramps, and feel confident in your body again. That's what we'll cover next. Now that you know the 2 snacks that quietly sabotage your muscles, it's time to focus on healing. I don't want you to live in fear of food. I want you to feel empowered, because with the right steps your legs can become stronger, your nights more peaceful, and your life more enjoyable. Let's start with the basics. First, hydration. Every muscle contraction relies on water, but not just plain water. After 60, your body needs electrolyte-rich fluids to function well. Each night, try drinking a cup of warm water with a teaspoon of natural apple cider vinegar and a pinch of sea salt. It's an old Russian remedy that restores minerals gently and supports digestion while you sleep. Second, food swaps. Instead of crackers, try a small handful of pumpkin seeds in the afternoon. They're full of magnesium and zinc, perfect for calming nerves and nourishing muscle fibers. Instead of flavored yogurt, go for plain Greek yogurt with a few slices of banana or fresh berries. That's real food, with real benefits. Third, movement. I know you've heard it before, but I'm not asking you to go to the gym. I'm asking you to walk, after dinner, for just 12 to 15 minutes. A slow, mindful walk helps your blood flow, stabilizes blood sugar, and signals your legs to stay strong. When I was a young doctor in the Russian countryside, we didn't have fitness centers. Our people stayed strong by walking to the bakery, carrying water, working the garden. Today, most people sit for 12 hours a day and wonder why their legs don't respond like they used to. Fourth, stretch before bed. 5 minutes, nothing fancy. Just gentle toe raises, ankle rolls, and a hamstring stretch while sitting in a chair. Do it slowly. Breathe. Let your body know you're preparing it for rest, not battle. You don't need expensive supplements, vibrating machines, or some magic pill to eliminate night cramps. What you need is consistency. Your body is not broken. It's just waiting for better instructions. Let me give you a simple routine to start tonight. Around 6 p.m., eat a balanced dinner with protein, healthy fats, and vegetables. Around 8 p.m., go for a slow walk, even just around your home or hallway. Around 9 p.m., drink your warm apple cider vinegar water. Before bed, stretch your legs for 5 minutes and say a small prayer of thanks for what your body still can do. I've lived nearly a century. I've treated people in war zones, remote villages, and modern cities. And the truth is this: the most powerful medicine isn't in a bottle. It's in your daily choices. You have more control than you think. So the next time a cramp wakes you in the dark, don't just curse it, listen to it. Your body is talking to you. It's asking for help. It's asking for minerals, movement, and rest. Give it those things, and watch what happens. I had one patient, Martha, 84, who told me after 3 weeks of this routine, "Doctor, I don't just sleep better. I feel like myself again." That's what I want for you. Not perfection, not youth, just strength, peace, and dignity, no matter your age. In our next episode, I'll share the herbal tea my grandmother brewed every winter to keep her bones strong and joints pain-free. No pills, just roots, leaves, and wisdom passed down through generations. But for now, I leave you with this: your legs can heal. Your nights can be peaceful. All it takes is one honest change at a time.